Happy Friday to her.
Happy Friday, Consuela.
How are you today?
I am glad it's Friday.
Me too. Even
TGIF, as the kids say.
though. Oh man. Now I've only had like a 2-day work week because I was out of town, so
You were.
I
That was
can't
exciting.
can't really complain about the work week. Um,
Yeah.
it's been a good couple of days,
Yeah.
so it's nice to have a tiny week. So
Whew.
get back in the swing of things. There's only 19 days left of school, or 19 days left with the kids.
Yeah.
So,
I apologize to our lovely viewers for missing yesterday.
oh yeah, that's right. Look,
Uh,
tour's alive, everyone.
I am alive. I was just absolutely in the zone in the middle of
Mm-hmm.
coding and had Windows covering everything, and my audio devices had fucked up, so I didn't hear your bleeps.
Mm-hmm.
So
Because I try
yeah,
to poke you more than once because I know that you get to
you did,
working and
and
you don't
and I
always
finally saw that
notice.
it was flashing in my taskbar down there, and I was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh no,
And it was over by the time you noticed. It was a short one
and it
because it
was
was
over.
an
Yeah,
easy day.
and thankfully it wasn't like puzzly.
Yeah, thankfully for
Uh,
me, it was
yeah,
pretty
we just
straightforward.
had to read into the
The clue,
pretty overt clues about the
yeah,
song titles. Yeah.
it wasn't hard. So, and I think I did find the evidence that I was looking for that this is a new user experience. And it was
Hmm.
because I remember I told you, I know I saw it somewhere and it wasn't in
Yes.
like the Second Life posted materials. Um,
Right.
I believe I saw reference to that on the MadPea blogger server.
Okay.
And I think they were referring to it as a new user experience. So that's a
Oh,
come I
fair
feel
enough.
like it was has been on the easier side, like not the full complications of one of the harder Mad P experiences, but I get it.
Yeah,
It's trying to ease folks into Second Life. It's very overwhelming when you first get here. And so
it is.
trying to make that fun and, you know, understandable is important.
Yeah. And I'll say that it seems like it's been pretty successful because, like, one thing I haven't commented on, but I will now, is, whenever we've rolled through here, I always, I'm nosy about
So,
the other avatars hanging around. I've been seeing a lot of
newer
pretty
ones,
young
right? Yeah.
avatars and a bunch of Senra folks. And
Yeah, see, like there's a center folk right here.
yeah, we got a couple, you know, very new accounts.
Oh, look, they
Um,
made a chubby Senra guy. He's got a little belly on him.
yeah, he does.
That's nice.
Yeah. So, it seems to have helped attract folks and hopefully give them something something a little bit more for them
Yeah.
to see that they can do in SL.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I also hope that it kind of takes up the reputation that Second Life has in the outside world, because us on the grid, we have, of course, our own lived experience in Second Life, but
Mm-hmm.
it does have a little bit of a stigma to it out out there.
And with the gamers, with all the gamers.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I know. I don't know if I've heard through you or just even in some of my own, or maybe it was SL Facebook, that, people just either first are surprised that Second Life is still a thing. And then
Mhm.
also saying that the user base is old. That's where the old people go.
Yeah. They, it's only old people on there, and they're only there for like sex clubs, and you know
Yeah.
that's it. That's what people think of it.
Yeah. Obviously, there's a lot more to it than that, but
Yeah,
people on the outside don't necessarily pick up on that.
yeah,
They're just used to what they're used to. But
yep.
anyway, I wanted to share something interesting with you before we dive in here. Um, because we were talking about the Senra bodies and stuff, and new users. Um,
Mm.
I told you about the new like welcome packs, right, in the library.
Yeah, yeah, you did.
And so I've been enjoying those on Sigma. So
Right.
she's rocking one of the looks, basically making that look her own. Um, and
Yeah.
I watched a couple of the other bloggers out there, Second Life bloggers, and there was a couple of opinions that was interesting to me that I didn't really think about as someone who recently celebrated a res day. Like my original Avatar's res day is in September, but this
Uh,
Avatar's res day was April 26th, and she's 17
yeah.
years old.
Woo!
So, whew,
Happy Res Day.
yeah, belated res day to me.
Belated Res Day to you.
But what was interesting as a resident of 17 plus, little plus mark now, years, is that it's not hard for me to navigate to find things and do things.
Yeah.
So it's easy to lose track of how hard it was in the beginning to even like I told you, I was trying to fly off a sim to save my life. Like I didn't understand
Yep.
the search or any of that. And it wasn't
Yeah.
until like I slowed down and just started just clicking buttons. What does this do?
Yeah.
What does this do? And when I clicked that search button, it just opened up a group chat for me. And that's when I started typing in the group chat and someone was able to teleport me. And that's
Right.
how I escaped that
And
sim.
you're at the mercy of whoever you find to help you sometimes.
Right. And so what was interesting is because, I think you and I are very pro Second Life, right? Like we
Yes.
love Second Life. Sure, it's not
Yes.
perfect. But, I feel like Linden Labs has been doing some stuff correctly lately. Not that I was
Agreed.
ever on the hate train for them, Like I'm just
No,
glad
but
they created this world for us.
yeah, but like when we offer critiques, it's from a place of love, and it's always just we think these are things that could be better, you know.
Yeah. And we got Masumi in the chat, by the way. I don't know if you noticed that. She's saying hi,
Masumi,
and she needs to start her MadPea vlogging because she's now official with MadPea. And then
congratulations.
she's promoting go like, comment, and subscribe. Time for Speedo time. She's not wrong. We're up to 460 today.
Yes.
So 40 more subs and tours in a Speedo. Now, granted, for the 400th Speedo, it was pretty brief because you were in a hot tub and we didn't get to see much Speedo. So
Yeah.
we'll have to make
do
sure
like a
500 is extra special.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but what I was going to say about the comments about the Avatar welcome packs, like everybody's pretty excited because you got some big names in there, creators. And
Mhm.
I'm curious what your thought is on this opinion, but some people were still bothered that, yeah, it's great that you've got all these amazing designers, contributing to this, but it's buried in the library as opposed to, when you go to the website and make your account, you're still presented with Senra avatars.
Yes.
So it was an interesting perspective because, I had already gone through that. I was living the Senra life with Sigma. It is what it is. And then when those appeared, I changed her out. I went into the library, got the new parts, and then put that together for myself. So for someone new, that the concept of your inventory and the library and what's what could still be something that's lost on them.
Absolutely.
Like even with Mama Lala, she didn't know where to find it, and she's been a resident for a while too. But her thing was she never looks in the library for anything, and I'm
Right.
sure she's
And
not
a lot
alone.
of people don't. So you're asking my opinion.
Of course I am.
I would actually go a step further.
You need to lean into your mic.
Sorry, I was leaning away from my mic.
I know. Bring it with you if you're going to lean back.
Okay, I would actually go a step further and not just talk about. Okay, briefly, I just saw this question in there, so I want to answer it first. For best pancake, the Senra body is like the new, well, it's quote unquote new.
Yeah.
It's the free mesh body that comes with SL
when you
now.
Start
so
your
if you,
account, yeah.
when you start, so you aren't just stuck in the unmesh, just kind of blob body that.
Yeah, you're not Ruth. You get it's Linden Labs mesh body. And
Right.
some designers actually do make clothes for it.
Right.
So I was
A
trying to live
surprising
out,
number.
yeah, I was trying to live out that experience. Like if I'm
Yeah.
just Senra, I don't have money for a 5,000 linden mesh body or a 3,000 linden mesh head. How can I make this Senra look good? And that's what I was doing until they dropped the Avatar starter kits.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. So this is actually a complaint that I've had for a while, and it's not just unique to the library. This is an area that I think SL could benefit from really taking a sharp look at, and yes, it would require fundamentally changing a few things, which may be why they're unwilling to do it. But right now, an avatar has hold on, let me get the number, because this is kind of important to my point. Okay, I don't know how many, but the point I'm trying to get at is you have a whole giant mess of attachment points, like 30 of them or something, on your avatar, and a huge number of those have been rendered completely obsolete by the existence of mesh, because it inherently snaps to a part of your body, right? So the attachment location no longer matters. So we are kind of liberated from that as far as mesh stuff goes. And I know 100% that they have tried to model things so that it's completely loose, you know, you're not bound to any rigid structure. But I really genuinely think that SL should take a hard look at basically making it so that bodies, a whole like mesh body as a whole, as a concept, could be a unique type of thing that a avatar can, when you buy it, when you add it, it gets added to a thing. And this is not just like an inventory, it gets added to, like, you've registered this access to this body. So first of all, you then have your UI, so that rather than just, you know, this kind of ad hoc list where you have to manage your inventory and manage all these attachments and stuff, top line, which body do you want to be wearing? You pick whatever body you want to be wearing. Second thing, we add a bit more metadata to objects because we have mesh now. So mesh now says, okay, this is, you know, a registered, rigged to whatever, this type of body. And then we can go a step further and say it's intended to be a top, or bottoms, or shoes, or gloves. We take the most used attachment points, and we turn it into, I'm not even kidding, a interface that is much more akin to like an RPG sort of setup, where you have like, this is my character paper doll, these are its attachment points, I can see what's worn on these different positions, and I can click on it and see a list of things that are registered to be like a top for this type of body and pick them from a list. And you can still have your advanced inventory based thing where you can attach whatever the hell you want to wherever the hell you want. But just as a baseline, just having, I want to pick my body, and I want to pick from my shirts, which shirt I want to wear today. And I want to pick from my pants, which pants I want to wear today. And I want to pick for my, my shoes, which shoes I want to wear for today. And it just puts those on. You don't have to dig through your inventory. You've bought it. It already knows what type it is. It already knows what body it's supposed to be registered to because of a little bit of metadata. It's not a lot of information that has to be stored. And then if they just did that, it would be infinitely more accessible. You don't have to dig through the library. You don't have to dig through your inventory. You don't have to be just flooded with menus. It would make it vastly more accessible to a user while also not losing any functionality for a more advanced user. So that's my thought.
That was much longer than I thought it would be.
I know. I'm sorry.
I was like, wow, you definitely have an opinion. Not that I should be surprised. I don't know.
It's something I've thought about a lot because I play a lot of other games.
You do.
And it's something people expect now when you have avatar customizability. You expect to be able to say, for this slot, what can I put on? And I know that it, like I said, they built it so that things aren't so rigidly structured, so people have absolute freedom. But with freedom comes a certain degree of learning curve, and whatever can be done to ease that is a good thing.
Well, I feel like, obviously you've given your opinion, which I always appreciate. Now, I clearly have not asked you your opinion enough lately because I felt like that was a lot of opinion, which I enjoyed.
That was a lot of opinion, yes.
I don't know that it really answers my question, which was, the frustration that people are still faced with a Senra avatar when they're creating their accounts, as opposed to
in the library.
Like people wanting the critics saying that starter pack should be what is shown on the website when you're making your avatar, is that you use those materials to make your avatar, not the Senra.
Yeah, I could agree with that as well.
So because the Senra still, I get it, there's still kind of a point where people could be turned off by like, oh, this avatar is ugh. But what they've seen pictures of videos like of us right now, or pictures of Second Life, and they're like, well, how do I get that avatar? Why am I starting with this?
Right. Well, that kind of goes to what I'm saying. So, okay, you imagine you go through creating an account, and one of the first steps is, hey, pick your base body.
Gotcha.
And you pick it from a list of allowed bodies, or registered bodies, whatever you start with. And this could be the same sort of interface.
And it could still be like a little legacy, male or female, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You toggle between them. You see a preview of them. You see you being registered in there. Yeah. Then you can be like, okay, I want to customize my body from here. And that's when you can go to adjusting sliders and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I want to pick my outfit, and it just you see which outfits and clothing pieces are registered to that particular body, and that's an important thing.
Maybe that's what's coming. Maybe this avatar starter pack is just the beginning. Maybe, because I know Linden Labs is working on relationships with creators quite a bit right now, that maybe it'll be like what you're describing. Like, do you start with a legacy? Do you start with Belleza? Do you start with Reborn? Right? And then what skin, right? They might have an arrangement with a skin maker. Like in this case with the starter packs, it was Le Lapieu and Velour. So, just using some different skins to choose from as a basic, just basic line. And even with the starter avatar, or the welcome starter kit, that the skin was face and skin together. In most instances, you're buying this face separate from the body skin. Right. But in this instance, they were together. And so it simplifies it, right? So you have some basic items that you're selecting, whether it's shoes from Fedora, an outfit from Par or Pare, I'm not sure how you say it. but or Riot, like, you know, like,
Yep.
or there was like Mellow Ellie was in there too. And so, you know, you've got some basics, just a few, like a very limited line of basic things so that you can come in and look nice. And I think that was the argument, like, why are we still coming in looking like Senra when then new users have to figure out where the good stuff is, and it's buried inside the library.
It is. It is.
So to what you're saying, I feel kind of optimistic that maybe that is where Linden Labs is going.
I'm not, but I would love for them to go there.
Well, I'm an optimist, but I feel like you're generally optimistic too.
I am too.
On this, not so much.
And the only reason that I say not so much is
because it's taken so long.
Well, it's not because it's taken so long. It's because I don't know why, but for forever, Linden Lab has been really kind of afraid to make any part of your inventory have special properties, so to speak, to make it like a thing. So everything is just object, and an object just has properties, but they don't actually integrate with the user interface in any meaningful way. It's just you can do something, but you have to do it through your inventory or through the library, and that's your lot in life. And what I'm talking about is actually making some parts of your inventory actually elevate functionality just by being in your inventory, just by having them. It gives you more functionality. You know, I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because they have no, by the framework that things are in, an object that is not rezzed into the world actively is considered entirely offline, and it doesn't even exist in the sim. But you don't have to necessarily make it exist in the sim, you just have to make it exist in the UI. So they'd have to create a way for the UI to say, okay, I see these things in the inventory, these bodies are available, so in my like body / paper doll UI, I need to make them available in a drop down sort of thing. So I don't know.
We'll see what comes. I appreciate
what comes.
Sharing your opinion and your realism. I'm not even going to say pessimism, but
yeah.
So, okay, well, we've spent a fair amount of time talking about that, so I think it's time that we...
Did we steal something?
Yeah, it's time to steal stuff.
I love stealing stuff. Let's go. Day 8.
Press the button.
Stealing your heart.
Yeah. But that has already been stolen.
Yeah. Best pancake. Yeah, the inventory in IMVU is far easier than SL. Yeah, in pretty much every sort of game and virtual world, like even what is it? VR chat. Okay, let's see. Pick a lane and hit 5 stationary targets to move on.
I'm trying to get my things raised. I had my volume down, so. And then is the checklist, every shot you waste is a shot that could have been save your ass, hit your mark, or don't bother showing up for the job. What's on the center screen? Is it just a checklist again? Oh yeah. Pick a lane and okay.
Okay, so I am supposed to have a gun. Do I have a gun? How do I gun?
Did we get from these guys?
You've got a dart gun. I don't know that I do. Do I have a dart gun? I don't see a dart gun. Let's see. Inventory is just checklist and invite.
And then Masumi, she's saying it's on the table, Barbie. But Masumi's asking me, have you ever crystal crazed with the other avenue? Yes, Masumi. Crystal Craze was where I first started earning some extra lindens on her, and then I learned about fishing, and now she fishes with Fish Hunt. Oh,
Got it.
so are you in mouse look or what? How you doing it?
I moved to mouse look after grabbing my gun.
Okay.
You just click one of the guns on the
Mm-hmm.
table.
I did.
I did it.
Okay. Mouse look, and left mouse to click fire. Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Let's see if you can hit something that's actually moving.
What did it say? What does my list say? Go through the double doors and what? So the next room
In
and
the next room, we shoot 5 guards without hitting civilians.
Oh. I was like, man,
So
this
now
was
it's gonna-
easy. We just do this.
Yeah, well, now it's going to be a little trickier.
Hang
I'm
on.
going to pick lane 3, level 8. Help.
Oh, so you went through the double doors down there?
Yep.
I was pressing too many other buttons.
Let's see.
So Masumi, do you Crystal Craze a lot? I just been more into the passive fishing. Because usually I'm multitasking. I might even have Lala on another screen. And like doing inventory. Alright, so now we just have to be careful not to hit a civilian.
Yeah. I didn't have any civilians show up. Wait. Oh, no, this is...
Did we do it wrong?
Oh. This was the same
All right.
objective, apparently.
Let's see
Oh.
if you can hit
We
something
have
that's
to...
actually
This
moving.
is not through the double doors,
Oh.
I guess.
Did we go the wrong way?
Well, we didn't. There was just 2 rooms of
Oh.
that, apparently. So where do we get? Okay, gun is here with the giant
Arrow. Okay.
arrow.
And we don't do this one at a time?
This is it. You either hit your shot or you're screwed.
And we don't move? It just...
I don't
This
know.
is where we separate the pros from the posers.
But we have to... Do we go forward somewhere?
Maybe.
So Masumi's getting back into Crystal Craze. Yeah, Masumi, I'll have to friend up Sigma. She's the one I do all the bargain selling with.
All right.
Did I miss a guard somewhere? I only have...
There's a few around. There's
Oh,
this
this
guy
guy.
in the bushes.
Missed him.
That'll do. Keep the gun. You'll need it.
Not bad, hotshot. Just don't choke when it really counts.
Yep, that's it.
And that's it.
That was child's play. You did great today. Tomorrow, we hit the
we
lasers.
get the tranquilizer gun.
Or, maybe let's not actually hit them. See you there.
Neat.
All right. So, are we coming back tomorrow, or are we skipping a day? Because we finished this now at 7:31 SLT.
We'll probably have to skip tomorrow.
You think?
Well,
Depends on you, really.
Yeah.
7:30 SLT is nothing to me.
It is Saturday, so
Yeah.
we could make that work.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's plan on it.
Yeah. Let's see. Barbie was aiming for chest, not face. So, not supposed to be shooting him in the face? What?
We could shoot him in the face. It worked for me.
Yeah. So we can't get out of here. We gotta teleport out. Because this door
that
doesn't
seems
open.
to be the case. Yeah,
It's not the exit.
it's not the exit.
Hmm.
Oh wow, that is definitely a different time zone, Barbie.
Where'd you end up, Tour?
Well, I wandered over here, and there's this little alien critter.
What achievement does she have? Did she shoot a civilian?
Oh, maybe. I want to shoot a civilian now. Well, I mean, that sounds bad and out of context. Okay. So you can grab a gun again.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see. Is that what happened? It is. Well.
Because she shot the one up there, I think.
Oh. Maybe you have to shoot a particular one.
This is it. You either hit your shot or you're screwed.
This is where
Oh,
we
yeah,
separate the
way up
pros
there.
from the posers.
Yep.
Yep. Nice. Good catch.
I noticed her
I didn't even
achievement.
notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, goodness.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Well,
assuming,
that's fortuitous.
yes. Assuming next time I'm on Sigma, which I'm on her nightly, I will send you a friend request. And then maybe sometime we can go crystal crazing together. Because that's a good way to earn some lindens. She's been earning a fair amount with fishing. And it's very passive, like I said. So she just stands around and I click her fishing rod. And then usually I'm doing stuff on a second screen or watching TV. Or my latest idea was, well, I just can get Lala on and do inventory and make lindens on Sigma while she sits around fishing. But
Yeah.
yeah. All right, so then I think that brings us to a close on MadPea for the night. We'll come back tomorrow at around 7:30 p.m. SLT. I noticed when I was standing around earlier because I was streaming Oh My's grand reopening, so I got one of their acts and they were giving away prizes and stuff, and they were supposed to have a I don't know what's the word, they were going to be dropping or releasing some new information, and then they ended up having to pull that back because of something that wasn't ready. But they were gonna, I think they have a new HUD coming out, so they were gonna tease it a little bit. Because I don't know if I mentioned to you that I'm gonna be checking out the Elope Expo. That's Sandrika from Skvast is involved in that. She invited me to be a vlogger on the media team, to live stream or to make a video of that. I'm gonna live stream. Everything's live streaming these days for me because it's just easier. There's no video editing.
It is. It's way easier.
Yeah, and it gets content out quickly, so there's no lag. So, so my point was, so Oh My's gonna have something big coming out at the Elope Expo. I will be streaming that. I think May 4th, which would be Sunday, probably Sunday night. If
Okay.
because the sim is accessible to me, so I'm curious. I don't know if that's going to work out for the both of us to do, or if it's going to be me alone, but we'll see. But that's something that's coming. But Wolf asked me the other day to live stream the grand reopening, and since it was right after work, I could only do like as soon as I got home. So I missed the first live performer, got the second live performer, and then I had to reset and get ready for our stream. So it's kind of nice. I'm enjoying the streaming a lot.
I'm glad.
Yeah. So, do you have any closing? Go ahead.
If it's May the 4th,
It's Sunday night. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of would want to. Just because it's May the 4th, I kind of would want to. I don't know if it's at all appropriate, but I kind of would want to do something Star Wars themed.
I figured. I am going to be dressing for wedding.
Yeah.
Unless you did like Star Wars wedding attire, I don't know. You could totally come as a stormtrooper or whatever you wanted. I would not fault you turning up in Star Wars attire on May the 4th.
But you're right. It should be more formal.
That's fine. I can dress. I already picked up a dress from the blogger room, and so I can go as I'm planning. But we will not match that day. You can go. I'm kind of curious what you would turn up in for May the 4th.
Well, they do have a wedding at the end of the first trilogy.
Okay.
Right.
So you can attire yourself that way. I'm gonna wear the pretty dress I got. So.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
formal Han Solo.
There you go.
Yeah.
So like I said, I have to check with Sandrika if I can live stream it then. I know the sim is not open to people until noon on the 5th, and that's a Monday. So it's like unless I'm streaming it Monday night, I thought Sunday night teasing it a little bit, getting in there before other folks and checking things out could work. But we'll see. I might have to move it. I'm going to check things out on Sunday, double check with Sandrika. But I'm excited to check things out because it looks like it's really pretty. So
definitely, yeah.
But any closing thoughts before I sign us out?
I've kind of given a lot of thoughts already.
You have. You were very full of thoughts today.
Yeah.
Which I always enjoy.
So we'll end there.
Let me give shout outs to folks. So we had Barbie ready from the jump. And thank you, Barbie, for saving us some time on finding the gun. We had Masumi joining us. We had Best Pancake. And I think I touched on everybody. So thank you, everybody, for joining us live. Thank you to those who join us later. We appreciate any amount of time you spend with us. Please like, subscribe, comment, share with friends. We appreciate all of that, for sure.
And we'll see you in the next one.